with Char. So by the time you see this one, we'll have talked to a number of people who have been talking about what's next and coming back to the office. And I wanted to show you a project that we were involved with long before the pandemic was a word or COVID was a word, but a space that is taking and using all the terminology and the spaces that people are asking for. Right now, I'm in the break room, which is this whole resumercial thing. So you have eating and snacking and cooking and relaxing, and there's a TV. So it's one of those things you feel like you're almost at home in your family room. And then you're going to see what we did with their charity wall. They're very active with Children's Hospital, and that is a big thing for people as they join companies. They go, where are you committed to, and what are you doing to improve our community? And we'll show you then another piece that we had done, which is an encaustic piece, which means it's done under wax, that we did a collage of all these historical documents that have to do with their company. And it was huge. I designed a frame for it. And the ironic thing is that when you put your camera up to it, you can see through the wax. I don't know how that happens. It's magic. And then we'll also show you a piece that we did for one of their themed conference rooms. And then finally we'll end with an employee engagement wall. But they had all these things going on before we actually heard the words pandemic and what does it now mean to entice me or your employees back into your offices. So one of the things that's really important to people in there and who they work for is who are they involved with in the community? Who are they supporting? Who are they showing their, giving their dollars and their time and attention to? And Chartwell has done this currently with Children's Hospital. So we created this wall of artwork from children that were at the hospital, and we did them in custom-made frames that you can take the backs out 1,000 times and it's not going to ruin it. So we can put new things in as different charities come along that they may want to be involved with. But it's front and center. You walk in the door and you see that they go, oh yes, they're committed to this community in a great big way. So it's really, we also did a sign in the middle, as you'll see, it says Chartwell Cares, and it talks about what they believe in and why do they give back to their community. Something that's really important. So this encaustic piece was commissioned from Jody Reeb, who is a local artist here in Minneapolis. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to have something that represented the history and the artifacts that are particular to the Chartwell company. So we created this large, as you can see, piece, and then Jody does encaustic, which means it's covered with wax, which actually will preserve it for everybody's lifetime and beyond. And then I created a steel frame that would go around it. What's really interesting is that when you put a camera, look at it through a camera, you see all the details that you cannot see when you're just looking at it through the wax. So it's really fun. Again, another multi-dimensional, many layers. I see it and then I don't see it. So actually adding a degree of interest and interaction with the art pieces that you don't typically get. So I would like to just talk to you a little bit about the We Are wall. This is our employee engagement wall, where we really wanted to do something where everybody in the company, whether they're here or not, they have several different offices, could be to have a picture that is displayed. And it can be changed out so easily because we designed it so that this little plexi sleeve would be able to go in and out. One of my favorite stories is that a woman who I met in the beginning of the project, she had her picture in there and she was so proud of it. It was her with her boyfriend. And then a couple months later, she came back, she says, oh, I see my new picture. It's with her and her boyfriend, now fiance. And then there were several months after that, she said, oh, wait till you see my new picture. It is my now husband and I in the picture. So that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a moving target, a dynamic, what's happening in our lives. but to see each other as real people outside of our workspace. Sometimes we get really segmented and say, here's my work life and here's my personal life, and that's all coming together in a different way. So this wall allows that to happen, especially now that we're coming back from a pandemic and we probably haven't seen anybody for a year. What has happened to them in that time? What is going on? Has things changed? Do we want to have something up there that commemorates that? So we started this and did this all before COVID. And all of a sudden, it's probably one of the most relevant things that we have done and have continued to do for clients. This, of course, is Winston Churchill. This is Chartwell, his summer home. And that is where that name came from. They said, okay, it has lots of history. It has history with a man who did some amazing things in a very tough time in the world. And so we have this printed on metal. What was interesting is that you'll find lots of Churchill prints everywhere, but there are a few that belong to the estate of Winston Churchill. And only Getty Images has the right to have them printed. And so we had Getty Images print this one because, you know, it's like once you have your heart set on something, we couldn't find one that was like the perfect thing for us. And again, then we did this framing that was a metal steel frame to set off the metal print. Conference room, and so we did a piece of art, commissioned a piece of art that is actually trunks of trees, and they are super highly textured. And if you are up close, underneath you can see that there is writing that has been basically plastered over. And what it is these are all sayings that are important to the company's philosophy. So we took them and put them, like I said, sort of hidden, seeing them through a vision of some sort, but actually made this try to be all texture and nature. This was a local artist, Candace Simpson, who started her career as a faux finisher and then brought it into her artwork as well. So you get this highly textured surfaces that are just so interesting to look at and multidimensional. So now you have seen this project, and we are going to have an interview with Matt Grynol of Nelson Worldwide, who was one of the instrumental designers of this space, and just ask him about process and how it was to work with a client and how to understand what they wanted and how to give them that. And you know, how did they set a budget? All the things, the nitty gritty of what went into making this project so very awesome. And I really wanted to show it to you because I wanted it to illustrate so many things that you have heard from all the people that we've interviewed about what employees are saying about what does it take to get me back, what are the employers saying about what is it going to take to get people back, and to understand that it's going to be fluid. The thing that works in the beginning may not be the thing that works 6 months, and it's going to be some kind of hybrid of something or another that we all don't know, and that's okay. That's okay. But this at least gives you a format for what maybe it could be.